Welcome back to my Elisity Cognitive Trust series, and in this episode I'm going to be showing you how you can simply and effectively secure your healthcare networks by leveraging the Elisity Cognitive Trust platform, as well as the integrations that we have with partners such as Medigate. Medigate is the leading platform in medical device discovery, medical device asset management, as well as healthcare environment security assessment and remediation. This integration of Medigate into the Elisity platform arms you with the most powerful and comprehensive least privileged access solution for your hospitals, your clinics, and corporate environments. The deployment and operation of this whole solution is simple, straightforward, and I'm really excited to show it to you, so let's get started. In my previous video, I talked about how building network policy based off of rigid network constructs like IP addresses, MAC addresses, ports, and protocols just isn't effective today. We need something that can go deeper. We need an engine that's continually verifying everything that's on the network, no matter where it is, when it joins the network, or if it changed locations. Elisity has worked really hard on building that engine, and we've done it really well. When we integrate with other solutions like Medigate, it gets that much more powerful. Take a look at this. What we have here is a healthcare environment that hasn't been secured with Elicity's least privileged access solution. So we have all sorts of devices in the network. We have users' workstations, we have printers, we have databases, we have servers, we have all sorts of medical devices like infusion pumps and patient monitors that are all the time unmanaged and running some sort of unknown Linux embedded operating system that hasn't been updated or secured and patched in who knows how long. So we have all these exploitable devices and users on the network. So what happens is that, well, they get exploited. People make mistakes. They click a link in an email. They go to a malicious URL. They insert external media. They download things. Or these unmanaged devices fall victim to targeted attacks based on either known or zero-day embedded OS exploits. So now what's happening is that you have this environment that's exploited. You may not even know that it's been exploited and that is vulnerable, and you have a network that isn't secured. So, well, they're going to find their way throughout the network. They're going to get what they want. They're going to either cause a DDoS attack. They're going to brute force environments. They're going to do data exfiltration. They're going to do ransomware attack. There's a million things that they can do. The same things that they've been doing to enterprise networks. All right, now let's take a look at what happens when you secure it with Elisity and the Medigate combined solution. So initially, the same thing is going to happen. Users and devices are still going to fall victim to attacks. I mean, we're human. We're going to click on the wrong links. We're going to download the wrong files. We're going to insert the wrong media. We're going to be fooled by emails. And then we're going to be exploited. You can't always count on EDR solutions to catch this stuff. And it's just that one time that it doesn't catch it that now your network is exploited, right? So you can't rely on that at all. Devices will always have vulnerabilities until they're exposed, but at that point, it's too late. There's just nothing you can do about this right now. But what you can do is secure your network ahead of time. So now with Elisity and the Medigate integration, we can identify all these medical devices, users, and applications on the network ahead of time, and Elisity can push the appropriate policy to the edge of the network so that these devices and users only have access to the resources that they need to have access to do their job effectively. So these users can still reach the printers and the databases, and maybe they can still reach their Epic medical records system, and these devices can reach the nurses or the nursing stations, whatever they need to reach so that they can do their job properly. Going deeper now, as I mentioned before, Elisity has a cloud control center and Medigate has the Medigate analysis server, both in the cloud. On-prem, in this scenario, Elisity is leveraging our virtual edge or micro edge solution that allows you to turn your existing infrastructure edge into Elisity policy enforcement nodes, as well as Elisity identity gleaning nodes. Medigate has their Medigate collection server that's, of course, collecting identity information of medical devices. Once traffic begins to flow, Elisity will collect and parse identity information for users, devices, and applications and send this information up to Cloud Control Center for additional analysis. Medigate will do the same thing, but for medical devices and send it to their analysis server in the cloud. Both platforms will do their own independent analysis. Once Medigate is done their analysis, Cloud Control Center can query Medigate via a secure API connection to learn more about these medical devices on the network. So we are enriching our own identity engine with information from Medigate. So Medigate can get deep, right? They can get information about operating system of these devices, serial numbers, model numbers, version numbers, a ton of information that we can then leverage as attributes and match criteria in our least privileged access policies. These policies are built and then pushed down dynamically to the edge of the network immediately. That is a secure healthcare network. Okay, let's take a look at what a dynamically identified device looks like in the Medigate UI and in the Elisity UI. So we're in the Medigate UI here first, and you can see here this is a glucose meter that was detected, and it's manufactured by Roche. So if we click this, you can see information like its IP address, its MAC, its operating system, its FDA class, its type, its model, and more information will populate as more is learned. Now let's go over to Elisity. So similar thing, we can click the IOMT section here and scroll down, and you can see I have an AccuCheck glucose monitor that was detected, and information was enriched by Medigate. And we'll also learn more as time goes on. But let's go build a policy for this type of device. Our goal here is to build a policy that allows AccuCheck glucose meters to only communicate with nurses that are logged into the hospital network. This is really easy. Check this out. All you do is go to the policy section, and you'll see that a policy graphical grid gets displayed. You can see here that I have a nurses section at the top and I have a glucose meters here, or you can switch them around, it doesn't matter. All you want to do is find the intersection point between glucose meters and nurses, and you see there's an empty block, meaning there's no policy for them right now. All I'm going to do is click that, and it automatically builds the source and destination match criteria for you because we've already identified glucose meters and nurses in the network. So you don't have to go and figure all that out. You don't have to specify ports and protocols or whatever. It's all done for you. You can even see what assets matched this criteria. You can click the details here. You can see I have one device that it detected that's going to match it, made by Roche. That's the one that we detected and got enriched data from Medigate. And then the nurses, you can click that. I have one nurse named Florence Nightingale, and that's a user that was detected via an Active Directory authentication message or some way that we've identified that particular user on the network. So now all I have to do is say, well, I want to allow that user to do anything with that glucose meter and vice versa. It's a bidirectional policy. So I'm going to click action allow. Now you can get as granular as you want, but I'm making this pretty straightforward. Then you click deploy. And now that it's done pushing the policy to the edge of the network, you can see that in the graphical policy view, the nurses and glucose intersection point now has a layer 4 policy applied to it. You can click it and edit it if you wanted to as well. Policy is immediately actionable at the edge of your network, and you'll start to collect things like analytics and events and logs and details about this policy instantiation and the devices and users that are a part of this policy. And just like that, through this integration of Medigate, you now have the most powerful yet simply deployed least privileged access solution for your healthcare network. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.